Hola, hola, hola. Welcome back to another vlog. Well, another YouTube video. Bienvenidos a otro video de YouTube. Espérenme porque necesito tomar mucha agua. Espero que se encuentren bien. I hope you are having an incredible day. A lot has been happening. Today's topic, it's going to be unemployment. El episodio de hoy se va a tratar de no tener empleo, desempleada. Como ya lo había mencionado, like I had mentioned before, previous video, I lost my job at the beginning of March. And it has been a roller coaster of trying to find another opening. I have been interviewing. I have been doing pre-screenings. I even created my own Excel sheet to track the places that I have applied. This will be my second one. First, I started doing it on paper just for me to keep track. Then I created this Excel sheet of where I'm tracking it down. If I did a pre-screen, if I did the first interview, if I did the second one, if I did the third one, if I got rejected, if I got ghosted. Also, my favorite lipstick from Rare Beauty, the Tahin collection. Yes, it's been a roller coaster. Este, I I just got a new rejection this morning. But I'm staying with I did great. I believed in myself in that interview. I knew my stuff. I know I have the experience. I know I had the experience that they were asking for because it's been in a similar setting that I have worked in before. They're lost, you know. But I left with at least I went into that interview believing in myself and trusting my experience and trusting the work that I have done, my skills. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Of course, like me duele un poquito that I didn't get that offer, but I stay with I did and I knew it and I did a great job. I believed in myself. I was confident. But like it doesn't happen. It's for a reason. Like my friend says, every rejection is a redirection. I have two pre-screenings for two companies the beginning of next week on Monday and Tuesday. We'll see if, we move on from there. I haven't heard back from the other company that I have done already like 4 interviews with. I think probably by the end of next week or maybe the early of next week. They did say that they were still interviewing. I believe last time when I applied, there were already like over 100 applicants for that position. So I am blessed that my hard work and my dedication, my skills, my experience, my resume stood out to them, and that they reached out to have my first pre-screen with them. It's been an incredible achievement. And before I will say luck or I'll get lucky, hell the fuck no. I'm sorry. Hell no. I need to stop saying that I'm lucky. I need to really start seeing my effort and like, no, I deserved it and I earned it and I worked hard for that opportunity and it showed in my resume, or else why would they reach out? And it's just been a lot of reflection too with the job market. The job market is incredibly difficult. Before, I don't think it was that difficult when I graduated college and I was looking for a job, because I was struggling too after I graduated college trying to find a job. I had already one lined up, but stuff that I had already done in the past that I didn't want to do anymore. I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to do something different, and I had already finished college. Therefore, I started applying to a lot of positions, and at least a rejection, email I will get in return. Nowadays, I just get ghosted. I had in-person interviews as well, and it's strange when I have them in person because everything is so virtual and so technological now that when I have it in person, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking because they're staring at me and they're looking at me like, God damn, but I am starting to again regain my power. I was talking to my therapist earlier this week that yeah, I'm empowering myself again, having this whole time off in a sense to really reflect on who I am as a person, who I am as a woman, who I want to be in my career, and I'm trying to make the best out of it. Luckily, my savings are saving me for now. But again, my running out of my savings, it's a privilege that I have the fortune to have those as a little cushion in the meantime. But again, that cushion can run out any minute because of unexpected expenses. Everything is getting so expensive. Gas prices are incredibly high. So I do have to secure something soon, but I'm trying to also ease it in there. I'm trying to apply for unemployment. I cannot do that just now because I had to surrender my new ID, my driver license, because I had to, since I'm a DACA recipient, I had to take in my new permit, and they're taking longer to review that because the dates didn't align to the one that I used to have before. So they are taking a little bit longer, and I need that in order to apply for that. And these are the things that are experiences, new experiences to me. I never knew I was going to go through that. I never knew that I was going to experience that. But there's a first time for everything. You live and you learn, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning how to appreciate things a lot more and value myself a lot more, my experience, my intelligence, my kind of like my health journey too. I also went to get this earlier this week, as you can see, IV hydration therapy. My body was was really asking for it. I needed to fill my body with vitamins again. I needed to hydrate. I needed to focus on my health and seek the treatments that I think are right for me. Definitely, you all can do your own research too, if you all want to focus on your health journey. That's me, my first time trying it. I got it this week and I felt much better already. It's been, I think, 24 hours in where I feel more energetic. I still feel a little bit fatigued, but I think hopefully throughout the days that helps me. It does make you pee a lot because it's a lot of liquid, or maybe I'm just a natural peer a lot. My system really, it's done a good job in filtering a lot of the stuff in my body. And I've been feeling a lot better, more energized. I'm more hyper focused in that sense. I'm more aware, more present. I had a lot of mental fog before. Still have like a little bit, but not as before. I really think it really helped me, and it's just been 24 hours. And I'm gonna see how I feel along the days because I'm also very physically active. I go to the gym, I run, I do mat Pilates at home because they're expensive to take them in the studio. I just cannot afford that now, right now. That's why I cannot afford that. No, we got to make sure we budget, especially since we're unemployed. And having the support of my family, it's been incredible. Because I think if I would have been experiencing this alone by myself, I would have lost my mind. And also, another thing that happened this week is I got my official letter from my therapist with my official diagnosis. And to me, I felt like I wasn't crazy in a sense. I know sometimes I say it as a thing, like, oh, I'm crazy. Don't my mind, I'm going crazy, as a defense mechanism. But now seeing it as paper, my diagnosis, like, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. And having a support group and or friends you can reach out, it's incredibly important because going through it alone, it's not fun. It's not fun, and just kind of like finding my way again with the help with my family, with my friends. Again, that's why I'm feeling a lot more empowered now and not embarrassed and not ashamed like I was before, and now focusing too much on people pleasing as before, and then believing in myself more that I'm capable and I'm smart, and I love to dance. And some people take that as an offense of like, ooh, look how she's moving her body. It's my body. I'm a woman. I do what I want with my body, my choice, the music that I listen to. I'm empowered, but not because I dance like perreo makes me like a puta or something like that. You can call me puta, like Asu says, but not tarada. I'm smart too, but society just focuses on that, and it's like, really, like, you guys are offended because I'm empowering myself and my body and my life, how I want to express myself. I love to dance, I love to perrear, the songs, and that's part of me, but that's not all of who I am. I'm more than that. I'm also smart. Built a whole professional career of my own too, with the support of my mom, of course, because she's a single mother. I am grateful for her, helping me all along financially, everything through college. Without her, I wouldn't have had those opportunities that I had, that little stepping stone of, she would support me. She always had my back, me not to worry. The only thing I had to do is study and make my career. And that's why it's kind of, it's interesting experience, because she's telling me, like, have patience, everything's going to come out to be fine. So having her support means a lot. And also my siblings, I think, has been incredible too. Having them around, we joke around, and it's interesting that just the dynamic as I get older too, and unemployment sometimes feels like a vacation in a sense. I just hope I was on an island, little summer vibe, and the breeze, walking the sand. Ay, 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 ya estoy pidiendo demasiado, ¿no? But unemployment is, at least for me, I'm trying to see the best out of it, even though que por dentro, there's this emotion where I'm crying from inside because my anxiety of overthinking, of questioning myself, am I a failure? And then my therapist was like, but who's telling you you're a failure? Where is that coming from? So we really dive to that. And again, it came with like my measure of success, that I had to always be moving in order to be successful. And now that I have downtime, it feels like I don't deserve it. But now I realize that I do deserve it. I've been working since I was 10. Um, I used to carry people's groceries outside of a little market where I used to live, and they'll give me change for helping them bag their stuff, in the year 2000, to support my family, because it was during the time where my mom and my dad separated due to his addictions and a lot of stuff that happened during that time. So my mom needed money, we needed to eat. She was the only provider. She stayed with all of the debt that my dad had because she was the wife. So it was a lot to endure. And then also my brothers, my older brothers, didn't chose also the right path, also his own addictions, and every single one of us decided their own escapes. I decided education to be my escape, and my other siblings decided to leave with their partners. So it's been an incredible journey. And I think now that I'm an adult, I'm the first person to go to college, I'm the first person to work in office settings, and that's also been an experience me within my culture. Even making this video, I feel more awake and more awoke, in a sense, more present. I said that Ivy actually. Yeah, I'm more present, more in a sense of, I'm the first person in my family to get to experience those things and to get to talk to them with them, not as often, because sometimes they they all they tell me is that they believe in me, but they don't quite understand sometimes, like the stress and the mental stress. And they make jokes here and there of like, but you're sitting down all day. I'm like, but my mental hyper awareness that I have to have at work, it's like 8 hours. So it's interesting, even me, to get to show that to my nieces and nephews, that you can't want more. You can achieve it all if you want to, if you want to put in the work. And they have the support of the whole family. Um, Even the kids, having kids, I think that's another thing that, it's breaking generational cycles too. Me and my little brother were the only siblings in our families who don't have children, and at first my family was like, well, you're getting older, you're gonna want to have a kid, or you're gonna be really old when you have a kid. But after talking and setting boundaries, they understood, that it's difficult times and it's a different era now. I don't have to have kids to feel fulfilled, at least me, at least not right now. Maybe I have them in the future. Maybe I don't want them right now, or maybe I don't want them at all later in life. That's me, and my family has been very respectful in that sense. And I'm open to changing my mind throughout my experience. But as of right now, I am sure that I don't, because I'm trying to find the happiness within me that fulfills me. And also, that is a lot of responsibility and financial responsibility. But props to anybody, who's a mom. My sisters are moms, my brother's is a dad. So props to them. It's just, I'm talking about me, what I think in me, in my life. And I still want to continue to achieve my dreams. I create content always create, it makes me happy. I haven't had like a guide, to how to create content. I've just been, I would say, like, random or different before. But no, I'm just, a normal person who's blogging her life that some might find relatable, some might not. And it's been we've been doing it for years. I took a long pause because again, I went to college, I focused on that, and now that I'm unemployed again, unemployed, I have more time to really think about what I want to share and what I want to continue. That's why this episode is kind of like unemployment and how that has been, and it's just giving me back the opportunity to focus on myself again in my dreams and feel in a sense happy. I haven't felt like this in so long with myself, until now, where now I'm more capable of blocking all those noises from outside. If I want to post a video of me dancing, I post it regardless of what people think. Before, I would just hesitate and be like, what would they think? And it's like, bro, you don't even talk to them in years, because again, that people pleasing and that seek of approval that I didn't have as a childhood, and all my childhood trauma affected me in that. And going to therapy is incredible. Like I mentioned before, asking for help in my family was seen as a vulnerability, but I introduced that to the family of like, no, it's something that I need, and asking for help is not a vulnerability. That changes the dynamic of respecting boundaries, of they respect mine and they're a little bit more open minded. And I'm not here to change them. I'm just here for them to accept me for who I am. And getting it's interesting because again, like I mentioned, like introducing new ideas to them, new concepts, and for better communication. Before, we wouldn't even talk about things that will make us feel uncomfortable. And I'm not that person of like, let's talk about it. I like to talk about uncomfortable things. Been with my father since I started building my relationship with him again, and him getting to know me, and I told him, I was like, I like to talk about things that make you uncomfortable. I like to talk about those conversations because I want to know. We have to be adults about it. And sometimes, yeah, I think that's one of my little, like, cosas malas que tengo, where I see adults not acting like adults sometimes, especially when it becomes to like women or marriage or how they treat their partner sometimes, even though that's not my spot or place. But just for me, when I see that, because I grew up seeing that with the women in my family, all the abuse they endure, all the unfairness they went through with their own families, that they had to, even my grandparents when they were younger, their traumas. And I'm learning to really know them again now as an adult. I want to know their story, and I am that granddaughter and daughter and sister that asks them questions of like, how were you when you were younger? So I'm really immersing myself into empowering myself through unemployment, even though, like I mentioned before, I'm crying from the inside because I don't have an available option. But yes, I've been using LinkedIn, Indeed, uh, on and Instagram, the organizations that I currently follow. I look into their website, their career options, if they have any availability. Telling my friends if they see anything, they can send it over that I might qualify for. They have been very supportive in that sense. Unemployment is different for everyone. And I'm just saying that we're in this together. We're in this together, y'all. We're all manifesting and decretando that we all find something permanently in the next couple weeks, hopefully, for all of us. Yes, that we will secure something, and that will make our dreams come true. And keeping that positive mindset. I'm trying, even though it's not always possible to have that positive mentality, but just staying strong. It's difficult times. There's a war going on. Gas prices are going high. Our community is still being rated by ICE. Our people are losing their jobs a lot more now than before in the public health sector, which is where I was. And a lot of programs are getting cut. Medical changes are coming in the community. So please also too, if your parents or someone needs to renew their Medical, if you need support, go to the county or call the community resource centers in your location that have the big LA Care or Blue Shields Promise. Call and see if they can help you to make an appointment, if you can renew a redetermination. Do not lose your coverage, please, because undocumented people unfortunately are no longer going to be able to qualify for full scope Medi-Cal anymore. And then dental coverage is also going to be restricted starting in July of 2026. So it's just a lot of stuff happening. We have to keep ourselves informed. Research, please. I always think that information is key for our brain and our daily life too. We want to be informed, because my parents aren't from Mexico, but they didn't finish school, and even them themselves don't know much about the history of Mexico. And me, by reading books, I'm starting to read books now in Spanish too, because I want to build that vocabulary of big words in Spanish too, that when I read them, I even stutter sometimes because I'm like, oh wow, what does that word mean in Spanish? So that book is showing me a lot, and it's showing me facts. Like, I didn't know that in 1955 was when Mexico gave voting rights to women, and that the year before Colombia did. So I'm trying to also nourish my mind in both languages. I I put a pause on the English books. I just finished one, and then I started the other one. I'm gonna put pictures of the one that I did in English by Erika Sanchez, and then the other one Perreo by Casu, and then for chocolate, I'm reading it in Spanish. And yeah, let me know if you all have anything you guys want me to talk about next. And I hope you all have an incredible rest of your day. Unemployment, it's not fun. I don't wish it on anyone. No one should ever have to experience this, but the never doesn't exist, or the would have, could have doesn't exist. We're in it now, and we're trying to make the best out of it, even though sometimes anxiety takes over or anything. But we're gonna get through this. Till next time.